Hi, I just wanted to stop for a minute here and go over a DIY project that I did with you guys, just to give you a bit of a review, because I know when I started looking at some of these things, I couldn't find any information on the web or any reviews on YouTube about people who've made any of these projects. So this particular project here is the Oakridge Hunter's Vest from Green Pepper Fabrics. Now, if you are familiar with them, they are a company out of, I believe it is Eugene, Oregon, that creates, they got a lot of outdoor fabric, a lot of outdoor patterns out there if you feel more comfortable working off a pattern as opposed to making something yourself. The one thing you want to keep in mind is all Green Pepper patterns actually do come with, like, this is a set of winter pants that I'm making. They all do come with universal sizing, so that you got a number of different sizes on here. So the size that you are, what you do want to do is you want to make sure that you got some tracing paper or some pattern paper, tissue paper. So as what you can see is I've made it for a large, that's the large size that I've done. You want to trace the size that you have off these patterns onto paper so that you don't damage your original patterns. That way, you know, if you make it wrong or it's too small or it doesn't, maybe you gain a little weight after Christmas or Thanksgiving, then you know what, you can make yourself another one if you want. So the Oakridge Hunter's Vest is a pattern put out by Green Pepper. It's got two big box pockets here on the bottom that you can see here. It has two hand warmer pockets as well as zippers on the front here that I actually find rather handy. Just tuck the shells in. It has, the pattern calls for the same lining that you use on the inside here, which I've used this this camo material. It calls for on this side as well. It's supposed to be a quilted insulated lining, and instead what I did is I had some moose hide left over, so I put some insulated moose hide on here. And when you flip it over on the back, it's got a pouch on the back here, so you can put any game or anything else you need to carry on it, as well as it does come with a zipper with a waterproof pouch that I put, I had some tarp material left over that I put on the inside here, and it works rather well. It's waterproof, still nylon, so it fits in there pretty good. So the pattern rates it as a level 3, which is a, if I remember correctly, they said it was for general sewers. It's not a beginner pattern, it's not an advanced pattern, but there was one area that I really did struggle with on this particular pattern. The pattern's very well laid out, and if you follow it step by step, you won't have a problem with it. The part that I did have was with these particular pouches. I really struggled with how the opening worked here, and I was trying to think, your hand went in the inside of here, like you crossed your hands to go in there, but instead your hands slide in the side, and it actually works really well when you're hiking and you're walking along, and by putting in your hand in here, it kind of helps hold the rifle sling back with your elbow there, and it worked really well. All the zippers are coil zippers. I would have probably used maybe one with a closed end on here. Instead, I had to cut it and kind of work it in. And for those of you that do so, you can see, you know, I didn't do the best job in here. But the only departure I made from the entire pattern was on around here on the armholes on this side. As you can see, around the collar here, the stitching comes in along the edge. I didn't do it on the side here. I left it open, and the reason I left it open was primarily due to the fact that this particular moose hide section was very thick, and even though I have a leather needle that worked well to sew it on, it was really struggling through there, and I thought this would be just a little too thick for my particular machine to push through. So other than that, works really well. I keep a lot of things in these pockets. I've even forgotten to zip it up and been walking for a while and nothing fell out. I just keep a few little items inside there. I keep my spot, I keep some trail tape. But overall, if I was to do this again, I would do it exactly the same way I did. The only difference is I might leave the mesh off at the back. For the simple reason is the whole point of the blaze orange is to make sure that you're seen and that somebody doesn't mistake you for something else moving in the woods. And I think that this particular on the back here doesn't show it off as well as it should, and I probably would leave this off. Although I did use it, we did find along a trail we were walking, we found a piece of an ATV that had fallen off that was useful, and I was able to actually just drop it in the bottom here while I carried it, and made it a lot easier to hike out, so I didn't have to hold something. So if you were going out for upland game birds or anything like that, this is a perfect vest for it. I think that's what it's made for, more or less. But this is the Oakridge Hunter's Vest from Green Pepper. I think the pattern is, it's probably less than $7 if I remember correctly. You know, the shot shells work on here. The edge of this this piece along here kind of holds them in nice. Just kind of stops them from falling out. Same with the top there, but they seem to hold in pretty good. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're into DIY and you do have someone who likes the outdoors in there, Green Pepper has a lot of patterns that you might be interested in if you like to play with the thread injector in your little handy.